After Season 3's finale, I'm convinced Reacher just had one of TV's most epic fight scenes ever. After watching Reacher Season 3's finale, I am convinced that the series has delivered one of the best television fight sequences of all time. From its opening moments, Reacher Season 3 tries to set itself apart from its predecessors by following a unique storytelling format. It initially shows Reacher acting completely out of character, only to later reveal that he has been working undercover for the DEA. As the season unfolds, flashbacks also reveal that, as always, Jack Reacher has personal stakes in the central case because the main villain, Xavier Quinn, had killed his MP colleague, Dominique Cole. Instead of making its villains look like regular cannon fodder for Reacher to easily dispose of, Season 3 shows how imposing they can be. While Quinn seems scary because of his mercilessness and lack of empathy, his henchman, Polly, comes off as a worthy competitor for Alan Ritchson's Jack Reacher because of his massive stature. Reacher Season 3 waits until its finale to feature a much-awaited showdown between the hero and villains. However, when it finally does, it is well worth it. I don't know how, but Reacher vs. Polly actually lived up to the hype. Reacher Season 3 kept building up to its Polly vs. Reacher fight scene from its opening episodes. As soon as Polly was introduced as one of Reacher Season 3's main villains, it was evident that Reacher would have to face him ultimately. The show first gives a glimpse of the two characters' strengths by featuring a scene where Polly challenges Reacher to a bench press competition. Realizing that Polly is much bigger than him, Reacher declines the offer and puts his intelligence on display by tricking Polly into punching himself. The fight not only meets one's high expectations, but also defies them. Polly shows what he is capable of doing in Season 3's Episode 5 when one smack from him makes Reacher fall to the ground, proving he is far stronger than the Alan Ritchson character. With so many solid scenes from Reacher Season 3 paving the way for the final battle between the two titans, it was hard not to be concerned about whether the fight would actually live up to the hype. Surprisingly, the fight not only meets one's high expectations, but also defies them. Since Season 1, Reacher has delivered many compelling action sequences in which the titular character shows how his raw strength and sheer size advantage against his enemies is often enough for him to overpower them. Arguably, Season 1's prison showdown remained the best fight sequence in the series even after Season 2. Polly and Reacher's fight to death in Season 3, however, easily surpasses the prison sequence in terms of both fight choreography and viewer engagement. Season 3 of Reacher didn't just raise the bar, it smashed it through the wall, picked it back up, and used it to take out a room full of bad guys. And after that brutal, heart-pounding, cinematic finale, I'm convinced Reacher just delivered one of the most epic fight scenes television has ever seen. Let's not mince words. This wasn't just a cool action sequence. This was television's equivalent of a heavyweight title fight, wrapped in raw intensity, bone-cracking choreography, and powered by a lead actor who seems genetically engineered for this exact moment. Forget polite punches and conveniently timed reinforcements. This was pure, unfiltered Reacher, methodical, relentless, and devastating. The build-up was as ruthless as the blowout. If you've been watching Season 3 based on Persuader, one of Lee Child's grittier Reacher novels, then you know the finale had a powder keg of tension just waiting to explode. Reacher had infiltrated a private estate under a false identity, unraveled a smuggling ring tied to foreign arms dealers, and picked off enemies piece by piece. But it was the final confrontation, a no-rules, no backup brawl in a fog-drenched boathouse that felt like the stuff of legend. Alan Ritchson, once again, brought an almost mythic weight to Reacher. His physicality is intimidating on its own, but what makes him truly terrifying is the cold intelligence behind every move. The scene wasn't just about brute strength, it was a chess match where each blow was a calculated check. It reminded us that Reacher doesn't fight to impress. He fights to end it. Choreography that felt brutal, not balletic. What makes this fight stand out isn't just the spectacle, though there's plenty of that, but the brutal realism. Many shows rely on flashy, almost balletic fight choreography, complete with backflips and unnecessary flourishes. Not Reacher. This finale fight was raw. It had weight. You felt every punch, every body slam, every desperate move to stay alive. It started with Reacher storming the boathouse alone, knowing full well he was walking into a trap. His silhouette moved through mist like a silent force of nature. Inside, half a dozen mercenaries, ex-military, heavily armed, waited in the shadows. The tension snapped like a wire when Reacher kicked open the door and all hell broke loose. Within seconds, the first man went down with a sickening crack as Reacher used a boat anchor like a medieval flail. Another tried to blindside him, mistake. Reacher drove him headfirst into a piling. One by one, the men came at him. None lasted more than a few seconds. And yet, this wasn't effortless. Reacher got hurt. He bled. For the first time all season, we saw him almost lose. The show leaned into this vulnerability to remind us, this isn't superhero stuff. This is survival. Cinematography that made you clench your fists. Director MJ Bassett deserves serious credit here. This fight was shot with a visceral clarity most action shows dream of. There were no rapid cuts to hide stunt doubles, no shaky cam to mask choreography. Every move was framed wide and tight enough to feel intimate, claustrophobic, even, but never confusing. One standout moment, a single-take tracking shot as Reacher gets pushed onto a moving boat. The camera follows him in a tight arc as he fights hand-to-hand in a confined space, eventually breaking through the cabin window to tackle his opponent into the water. It's brutal, fast, and most importantly, believable. The setting itself amplified the tension. The fog. The clanking chains. The water lapping at the dock. It all created a grimy, industrial tension like Reacher was fighting inside a living machine. Alan Ritchson is the action star we needed. This season confirmed what many already suspected. Alan Ritchson isn't just playing Reacher. He is Reacher. He moves like someone who knows how to fight, not just for show, but for results. In this finale, his body language said it all. Calm. Collected. Explosive when needed. But never theatrical. Ritchson has honed the perfect balance of menace and stoicism that makes Reacher feel like a man you truly wouldn't want to be on the wrong side of. And yet, this fight scene gave us a rare emotional beat. Just before the final takedown, Reacher has a flashback to the moment that originally sent him down this dark path. It's quick, maybe 3 seconds, but it hits hard. In the middle of a fight, we're reminded this isn't about pride or power. It's personal. That made the final blow, a devastating reverse choke that puts the villain out cold, feel like justice. What it means for the genre. TV has given us great fight scenes before. Daredevil's hallway brawl. Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards. The Boys has had its share of graphic carnage. But Reacher did something different. It stripped away the over-the-top effects and CGI spectacle and brought us back to the roots of what makes a fight scene thrilling: stakes, storytelling, and clarity. Every hit in that boathouse told a story. It wasn't just Reacher versus bad guys, it was Reacher versus the entire system of violence and corruption he's been dismantling since episode 1. It was a fight born from rage, precision, and a deep, almost animal sense of right and wrong. Final verdict. Instant classic. When the dust settled and Reacher stood alone on the dock, battered and bloodied, the scene didn't end with a triumphant pose or swelling music. It ended in silence. Just Reacher, breathing heavy, fading into